as we prepare the stage for our final session of today's program, which is the roundtable discussion. This discussion is titled From Bench to Bedside, Accelerating Global MedTech Through Academia-Industry Medicine Partnerships. Before we invite our session chair, Professor Hongfa Tse, and our moderator, Professor Xinge back on stage, I'd also like to introduce you again our guests for joining the roundtable later, including Professor Ed X. Wu, Professor Tongyu Zhu, and Professor Jiadi Xu. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome them on stage. To you, professors.
Hello. A very long afternoon talk. We learned from so many great speakers. And so the last session, so we talk about from the clinical application and also the novel technology, very, very inspiring. So we would like to take this opportunity to further discuss so some critical questions, and I believe it will be more interesting. So I will serve as the moderator, and the Professor Tse will be the chair. So actually, I prepared 2 questions, but I think Professor Tse, if you have any question, feel free to ask. So maybe let me start from the first question. So I think so a lot of people ask me and also other people about this question. From the talk, so the speaker gave the very nice demonstration of the novel technology, and we also feel it can be used in the hospital and also on the market. Well, on the market, so the industry, the company, they really want the fast revenue. They want to get money as soon as possible. So this is a kind of also controversy, right? So we are not matching. So in this case, we would like to seek the opinion, the comments from the panels. So what do you feel about this point? So maybe we start from Professor Tse.
Well, obviously we'll talk about translation though. Some of the things are much easier, like the device may be a bit more easy, but like some of the things we're working on, like cell therapy, will take a much higher risk in terms of investment. So, and also much higher risk. So I think it very much depending on the technology. And hopefully in one day we have the AI now, we can actually help us to selecting which one we should go for. I think that's also very important. I think this is also come with the same thing is, maybe we talk about a lot of AI. Maybe in the future we need to using more AI for clinical trial, so that we are more precise in terms of determining the outcome, the treatment strategy before we run into clinical trials. Then it actually will save some cost, and hopefully will actually have more easy return from the investor.
Yeah, to follow your question, I think the big company. They yes, they're very profit driven. I also think from my perspective, they also have very strong people, very talented people. So never underestimate them. But on the other hand, in the academic, we have the freedom to make sharp turns. And so I do think there's still a lot of opportunities. But we have to bear in mind what we are good at, what the company is good at. I guess we just have to have a clear top-down view before we start doing anything.
I think that's a very good question. I think that's particular a problem for MR society, because the MR society, all the sequence was dominated by 3 major vendors. The GPS, we call GPS vendor, but of course now we have united imaging for maybe 4 vendors now. So it's always for a new method, take a decade to really put it on a clinical scanner and use it for every hospital. And all the major reason is all the 4 vendors, the program environment is closed door method. Basically, it's not commercial. It's not open. So no, really only few labs in the whole world can access that code. So that's really impact the broad, all the rapid application or implementation any new method, such as in the simple as Peter Barker maybe already know, for the MR society, it take a really, really long time to make them more the sequence available and easy to use. And So I think there's trend in the MR society to change this, such as some cross-vendor methods such as post-Q and some other similar approach. Basically, use some open source method. I think that's a trend because once you make a open source method, everybody can program. Then the people can program can expand like 10 times or even more. Therefore, can make the speed much faster. Also, can be all the methods can be easily accessible by all vendors, not like just protected by one or two vendors. I think that's the major trend in the MR community to make the open source and to make a cross-vendor application, because that's also the issue for the cross-vendor make them consistent. So I think that's good trend is coming, but I think it's still like a relatively slow. And also I think the major step for our community to push forward.
Would you like to give some comments, Professor Zhu?
Yes. In Shanghai Medical College, Fudan University, every year we have more than 1,500 patents from China and from overseas. So the main task for our department is for the transformation from the basic research to clinical use. So all the topics are from the patient, and we should serve for the patient. So we have a platform for the clinical research and the basic research. And every month in this platform, in this stage, we have communications for the basic science research and the clinical doctors, and also we recruit investment partners and companies to join us. So from the bench to bedside, from the basic research to the clinical use is very important, because in this platform we combined the basic research and the clinical department. So the project are mainly focused on how can we use in the future. So I think for the scientific research is more important for our university, for the hospitals to use. We're not like the only basic research department. So the combined together different parts in our universities.
So maybe I follow up with the question. So I saw you show some of this app. Now we have all the AI. The patient can see their own result, all the data. As a clinician, we always have problem because now the patient have more information. So they tend to ask you a question every day or every minute. So you can receive all the image data. So how can you? I think the issue now we're facing is how we can actually handle some of those requests and questions from the patient. And the second thing, we recently actually had a patient who complained, go to put his case in AI and then get back, say, okay, doctor, you make a wrong diagnosis. You do a wrong treatment. So how do we actually be able to balance all this AI creating all this problem? Because obviously when using the AI, you ask specific question, they give you a specific answer. But sometimes it's very much depending on how you ask the question, and then AI will give you a different answer, right?
Yes, it's very important, the questions for the clinical doctors. In the young doctor, they want to have more and more patients. So they only use the WeChat to recruit the patient. But eventually, the patient will complain for the young doctors. So we told them, you should have restrictions. And we will help them for the AI. So in the app, the more than 95% of the questions were answered by the AI. And only 5%, only very small part of the questions by himself to answer the patient. And the second, the patient should bound to your ID. Not freely you can ask your questions. If you bound to you, it can ask you questions. And we have some restrictions. For example, 1 month or 1 week, you have 3 or 5 opportunities to ask the question.
So just also I want to ask Ed. So you talk about this low field MRI. Now we've been using a lot. I think one of the problem with a condition we're using MRI is, especially for the heart, it very much depending on the radiologist who reporting the MRI. So it's still very much operator dependent. So do you think actually any solution in the future that we can actually generating more consistent kind of report in terms of interpretation is still kind of the doctor look into that and look at the MRI, the perfusion, they're not really quantitative.
Yeah, I think those imaging measurements, I mean, in the case of context of diagnosis, they're extremely complicated. Imagine the amount of data you need, but I think we are accumulating. I think the hospital are accumulating a lot of data, but we're not homogenizing them enough. But I can tell machine can do it better later. Now, and I don't see how individual brain can outperform a well-tuned model that's driven by millions of cases, right? And they are probably the most trained radiologist. So, but on the other hand, I think still there's a new technologies being developed. I think you need a human interpolation, then bring them into the system. So I think this is really an exciting time because of the data, because of GPU power, and also because in this region there's a huge manufacturing power. They can really build things up based on the ideas academics have. So I thought I think it's inevitable. It's a matter of when. Right?
Okay, I think so. Follow this question is very interesting. Since as Professor Wu mentioned, so previously people are doing higher and higher intensity with the MRI, and now you do it reversely. So I think so one reason is that because the development not only on hardware but also the software AI algorithm. And I also want to hear so other two panel members, Professor Zhu and Professor Xu, for give the comments. So what do you feel from the hardware and the software so on this trend to improve the technology?
Yeah, that's good question. Yeah, I think in the past like 10, 30 years, people pushing higher and higher. Eventually, I think they face the boundary. I think people try to push the 70, but the 70 have many issues, and it's hardly solved. Now people back to 50. I think probably 50 the sweet point, and then I think that's the upper limit. And again, so another direction, go to lower field, which is I think that's only with the help of AI makes things possible. And I think both two directions, they are not really one replace another, and they are just complementary. They fit into totally different applications. I think a lower field is really particularly useful for the ICU, because for the ICU patient is harder to move, so we can just bring the scanner to the bedside. Also for the like a relative economic, not lower cost region, you need like a cheaper scanner for them to access. That also works. And for high field, more like for such as if you get the lower field, you get find some potential disease. You can use high field to confirm, because they still offer much better image quality compared to lower field. So I think you can use high field to further confirm and get more better diagnosis. So therefore these two directions, I would say, is complementary. There's not one replace another one. So really suitable for different applications.
I just want to ask, I think now we have a lot of AI. I think also we're facing an issue, a lot of this technology sensor, we can have a household applicant. So people would send to you some ECG from the iWatch and other things. So how we in the future, we need to handle some whole lot of data we're actually generating. So how we actually translate those kind of things into clinical practice. That's another major issue is how we can actually penetrating some of this technology to the consumer base rather than like now is more doctor driven. But eventually the patient will actually driven some of the technology, like the low field MRI patient may want to do a screening if it becomes so cheap, right? But again, how are we able to handle some of those information in the future?
Maybe just first back to the last question. I said the AI-driven diagnosis is definitely inevitable. I just want to make a comment. With all due respect to the radiologists and all the imaging people, but I think to move technology forward, we have to be willing to give up what we know. That means destroy what we know, but use what we know and move forward. So in that way, I want to project it in a more positive way. I think the technology evolution, once in a while, is revolution, right? It's totally changed. So back to your question, I would say, I think for the imaging, like CT, MRI, PET, they're very deep. Only few entities has the ability to play with it, right? But however, for large scale, like today, I had the opportunity to see many possibilities. I think for them to emerge, so in the end, it's going to some very powerful company like a Google will emerge because only they have the deep pocket manpower to integrate all those things. I think to be used, everything has to be integrated. I would not want to kind of have 10 different gadgets in my body from 10 different vendors. I think they keep on changing, right? So I don't know. The future is probably going to be a monopoly. And is someone even talking about the AI world will be very feudal. You know, only a few big guys, big entities calling the shots. So stop right there.
Any comments?
Yes. We for the devices, for the hardware, we get more and more complex, more and more accurate data, more and more data, big data, really big data. But for AI, we should make the data more simple, more easy to help us make decisions, more easy to analyze your status. So for the hardware and the software, for the AI devices and for the model, it's a different kind of analysis. And in the future, more and more company last week, more Shenzhen in Shanghai, and this week, Moxi, they have more powerful hardware, and we can get more and more data. And for a lot of large companies, they have more and more powerful AI. So I think their future, AI and the software and the hardware can combine together, make the world more easy.
Okay, so since we're running out of time, so I think I want to add one more comment. So the question discussed, so about the data, and so no matter the amount of data, also the quality accuracy. So one thing, so our center, the coaches are trying to do is using these novel hardware, try to collect high quality data. And not only in community, but also in the future, we hope we can also do it in the hospital, such as using the novel imaging technology wearables, collect these signal, which is comparable to the clinical use, the golden standards. And at that day, so we can imagine, so we can collect these high quality at a whole. So not send a lot of data. Allow the AI to give AI for judgment, but small amount of high quality signal. And can easily to do the diagnostic or even the guidance for the treatment. Yeah, so that's my opinion. And also, I think it's our hope. I think so it's we running out of time. And so let's thank all the panel members again. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So that's the end of our roundtable session now. With all our guests on stage, please take a look to the front, take a picture, and wrap up today's program.